Would you like some tea?
Yeah.
Some more tea?
Yeah. Thank you.
Kristin.
Kristin, yeah.
So you do a lot, don't you? You do a lot for this organisation.
There's a lot of different hats that I wear here, yeah. So for Love Our Wetlands, I'm the volunteer coordinator for that project. Love Our Wetlands is a project looking after 4 significant wetlands on Waiheke. So we're looking after Matiatia Headland, Rangihoa Wetland, Tafau and Te Matuku.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
We've been doing that since 2015, and we have a core group of people that go out once a week, and then we use a workforce of volunteers to do a bulk of the work.
And what do you do?
So we do weed eradication. We get rid of the weeds in the wetland, and then we replant with new eco-sourced native trees that have been grown from seed on Waiheke.
We kind of want to dig it just slightly bigger than the plant and not too much deeper. Sometimes if you dig too deep and you've got all the loose soil and you've planted at the right level, a year later when it soaks in deeper and deeper into the deep hole, and the ground level's up here, and then that's when you get your collar rot, which is by far the biggest killer. So if you haven't planted before, when you do get your spade, always using your heel. I mean, some people go on the front, but you've got all your centre gravity on that centre, and just, work your way around. Some of it will be really hard.
And then we plant them in the wetland, and then we care for them. So a lot of people come over and they want to do planting days, and then they think that that's it. But actually, you've got to care for those trees for a few years afterwards to make sure that they can grow higher than the grasses that they've been planted into.
And so once that tree planting's happened, which we will talk about, how often do you have to go back and weed and care for the trees?
Off the top of my head, it's every few months or so. About the rate kaikuia, because kaikuia is normally the one that's growing up around these trees.
Because it comes and it strangles them, doesn't it?
That's right. And you've just got to get the trees to be tall enough to be higher, and then they're on their own and you're away.
Great.
Yeah.
And so that's 4 different wetlands. Are they getting better? Are the wetlands getting better?
Yep, absolutely.
What happened to them?
Well, Rangihoa, for one, that was turned into the sports ground there. The wetland is still there. On Waiheke, a lot of them have been cleared for development, all around New Zealand actually, and in Aotearoa only 10% of wetlands remain.
So what happens if we don't have wetlands?
So wetlands act as a filter. They filter contaminants and nutrients from water that flows through them. They're also home and habitat to so many native bird and plant species.
So we have really endangered wetland birds like spotless crake and banded rail in particular, and quite likely Australasian bittern. So these birds this is their primary habitat, but they also need to come out of the wetland to forage and to migrate to different areas. When they do that, they need to have forest cover, otherwise they get nailed by, especially kahu, which is the New Zealand hawk. So giving them that kind of corridor to expand out of the wetland is really important for the health of these particular wetland birds.
Would they be like our kidneys?
Totally, yeah. They're our kidneys. Yep,
Right.
They filter, and they filter our water before it gets out to the ocean. Yep.
Right. And so our wetlands are getting better. It must be after 4 years of...
Yeah, well, we're creating a buffer. So what we're doing when we plant along the side of the wetlands is we're creating that buffer. So it stops sedimentation. So if there's no trees there, you'll get more slips and you'll get clay in the water, which decreases oxygen and clogs fish's gills and lots of different things. Yeah.
Does the community engage in those wetland planting things?
Yes, absolutely. We have at least 2 community planting days a year. Just recently we were out at Te Matuku, and we had a great group of about 30 or more local volunteers that came. You
Yep.
were there. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
And we planted 650 trees at Te Matuku.
Wow.
Which was amazing, yeah. And it was a piece of land that had been turned into farmland, and a farmer had thought it was on his property, so we moved the boundary back to where it should be and replanted and created that buffer for the wetland.
And you also have community groups coming over to plant as well.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep, so we have community and corporate groups that come over from Auckland. We have a great partnership with Fuller's who offer discounts for our corporate groups that come over, and we're getting 1 to 2 groups a week coming.
A week?
Yeah.
To plant trees?
To care for the trees that we've planted, yeah. So since
Wow.
2015, we've planted, at the end of this season, we will have planted over 15,000 trees in the 4 wetlands. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, cool.
So what else do you do?
So I also help do Project Little ONEROA, which is a local community project working with residents who live in the Little ONEROA catchment with the aim to reduce the amount of E. coli contamination that is going in there from people's septic tanks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen lots of signs down there.
Yeah.
And then tourists come and they just let their babies waddle in the
I know.
stinky water
That's
and don't
really
read the
tricky.
signs. And
Yeah. So that stream's been polluted for over 25 years, and so we've been working really closely with catchment residents and also Auckland Council. It's a local board-funded project. And we do lots of things with that community. We run workshops and do citizen science with schools. We have signage up down there. We advocate for people in the catchment with Auckland Council when they have offers of subsidies and different things like that. But this year, what we're doing is we're still working within the catchment, but we've decided to take the workshops beyond Little ONEROA, because even though Little ONEROA has a problem with water quality, that problem is everywhere. It's a global problem that we're all experiencing, and we all need to look after our waterways. And we all live in a catchment. Everyone on Waiheke lives in a catchment. And most people on Waiheke will have a septic tank. And so that's one thing that we're really lucky, is that we are able to, if we manage our waste correctly on site, then we can limit contamination of our streams. So that's something that we can do personally.
So you've decided to target it at the home base.
Yeah.
And how are you going to do that with
So-
all of us irresponsible people and all of our tourists that come through and use?
That's right.
They just use all these weird products.
I know. So we're trying really hard at all angles. We run septic tank workshops throughout the year in different areas on Waiheke. We talk to holiday home owners and provide them with resources that they can put in their homes. We're talking to people about greenwash with regards to buying products that aren't safe for our septic tanks, because believe it or not, the majority of products that you buy in the supermarket aren't safe for your septic.
Yeah.
So one way that you can be sure is to have a look on the back and look for the Environmental Choice logo. That's a good way to tell if things are safe for your
Or
septic.
get things from your little eco store.
That's right. Good segue there.
I only use like 3 products.
Yeah.
And it does my whole home.
Yeah, it's great. So we run the Eco Store refill station here at the Sustainability Centre, which is on Marco Street in ONEROA.
Yeah.
We're open Monday to Friday 9 till 4. And the aim of that is to have a space for the community to access products that are safe for your septic tank at a reasonable price.
It's so good. I mean, I'll talk to someone else about that so we can go on to another subject.
Okay.
So what else do you do?
What else to do? So I've just started a really exciting project this year working with Sustainable Schools, doing the Marine Education Initiative. So we're working with all schools and ECEs, and we're running
All over Auckland?
all over just Waiheke. So it's a
Waiheke.
pilot project that Waiheke is doing first off. And it's looking at the learning action cycle. So we get them to the beach and let them experience the beach for what it is. We take them snorkeling, we do sensory activities, we kind of just really get them grounded with their marine environment.
Yeah.
And then we take them back the next term and we look at marine issues. And so we get in experts, local experts from our communities, connect them with community groups that are doing stuff in that area. Because there's so many experts and people with so much knowledge on Waiheke. So connecting the students with those people so they can find out what the issues are, and then they come up with a plan of action. And then
The students do.
And
So
then
you activate the students' minds into thinking about how they can help our planet
yeah, and then we support them to take that action.
from a place of having connected with the planet and loving it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then so the next term after that, they do the action. So that might be tree planting, it might be pest eradication, it could be monitoring, could be a...
They actually get to do that.
Yes, yeah.
So they get to go and put the traps out. They
Yep.
get to go and plant the trees in the wetlands.
Yep.
They get to do what?
What else are they doing? They can do educational campaigns to, bring awareness to the community on whatever issue that they've
With you
found.
guys. You guys help them.
We support them, yep, and Nikki
Yep.
from Sustainable Schools. Yeah, and it's a local
Wow.
board funded project, so it's all really local, and
Wow.
and it's looking at issues that we're facing here in Waiheke and beyond as well. But we can really focus on the things that need to be done here.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I actually have talked to a few students. He did some kind of a survey and a study on it, and he could see the improvement over time of
Yep.
what he did. And
That's
I was
great.
wondering how he got to
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah.
It's with you guys.
Well, the high school have actually been doing a lot of studies in their wetlands over the last 3 years, and so this project connects in really well with that. So they've been doing a great study there. And so the students who are younger than the ones doing that other study can connect in, and it's just all about connecting the community to different things that are happening here. And then at the end of it, the term after that, they all come together and have a community celebration day, so they can invite members of the community to come along and see what awesome stuff they've done.
Oh, wonderful. And
Yeah.
just to finish off, I heard this morning you guys talking about other stuff that's happening at the high school.
So with the high school, we've got Kai Conscious in there once a week.
In the high school itself.
In the high school itself, running
Uh-huh.
through the hospitality class.
So they make stuff out of things that would have been thrown out.
Yep. So it's looking at loving your leftovers and being more conscious when you're using food, not wasting it. And then after you've done all that, learning about composting and doing the right thing. So yes, and we're also supporting a couple of the students with the establishment of a sustainability group, which is great. And they've got some students who are really keen to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're going to
On
sit in
the-
the background and help them wherever they need us. We're not, this
Just
is
in their own
student-led.
time.
Yeah, so they're meeting once a week in the high school, and it's just a thing that's starting to be established. So we're really excited. But we're just here to support them in any way that they need. And that goes for anyone in the community. That's what the WRT is here for. It's about building a better community, being more resilient, learning how to look after your septic tank and learning how to compost,
So
all these
who's-
kind of things.
Who actually funds you guys?
Lots of different places. So the local board funds the Marine Education Initiative, Project Little ONEROA, and Love Our Wetlands.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we get funding from lots of different places for other projects. Auckland Council helped to fund our Wastewise contract.
So you apply for funding and then people say yes or no.
Yeah, some of them are contracts. So some of them we are doing, the contract work, and others we come up with a project and we apply for the funding to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, full power to you. How many staff have you got now? How many people?
Staff. Ooh, probably about 7, and up to 4 amazing interns at any one time.
Yeah, we're
We
about
couldn't-
to meet one of the
Yeah,
interns,
good.
I think.
We could not do it without them.